Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of this lecture on graphical representation of motion. In part 1 we discussed the general properties of graphs and we used that detailed analysis to make comments on position time graphs, and we will use the same principles to make certain comments on velocity time graphs, and here we will do it in a concise form. So if you haven't seen the first part, please go and watch the first part. The link is in the description. Let's start with the second graph, that is the velocity time graphs, and quickly go through the properties of these graphs. A velocity time graph is drawn by taking time on the x-axis and velocity on the y-axis. The most important part of any graph is to plot the data points. You will take these points and you will plot them on your graph, and what you will get is a graph of velocity versus time. Now, the most important thing that you must remember about a velocity time graph is that the slope of a velocity time graph will give you acceleration. Now, how do I know this? I know this because the slope formula is delta y upon delta x. And if you take a look at what is on the y-axis, it's velocity, and what is on the x-axis, that's time, which means the slope will give me change in velocity, or delta v upon delta t. And by definition, change in velocity upon time is acceleration. So the slope of a velocity time graph will give you acceleration. And now let me recall another thing that I told you in the part 1 of this lecture, that is, every time you find the slope at a single point in the graph, what you are finding is an instantaneous slope. And because the slope of a velocity time graph is acceleration, every time you find the slope at a single point on a velocity time graph, what you are finding is the instantaneous acceleration. As opposed to that, if you find the slope between two different points on a velocity time graph, what you are finding is the average acceleration. So remember, for a velocity time graph, the slope is the acceleration, and if you find the slope at a single point, that means you are talking about instantaneous acceleration. Now let's jump into it. And if you remember, the second thing that we learned in part 1 of this lecture was area under the curve, and in case of a velocity time graph, the area under the curve will give you displacement, because we know area under curve is nothing but integration of v dt, and that is by definition displacement. So we move on and study velocity time graphs keeping these 2 points in mind. And now I'm going to keep here the first type of velocity time graph. But before that, this is the table that we built in part 1 of this lecture. We built this table and discussed each of these cases, and I'm going to use this table to study the graphs of velocity and time. So here I have the first type of velocity time graph. Let's see if you can comment on the properties of this graph. Let's take a look at the properties. The first thing is that the condition of this graph is that at t is equal to 0, v is equal to v naught, and you can see that for yourself. At t is equal to 0, v has some value v naught. It's not here. The graph is not beginning from the origin. So at t is equal to 0, v is equal to v naught. So the first point is clear. What about the angle? The angle is constant and less than 90 degrees. What is this angle we are talking about? It is the angle of the tangent line. But of course, in case of a straight line, it's the angle of the straight line. So you can see, of course, that the angle is less than 90. That is, it's acute. But the angle is constant. How do we know that? Because straight lines have constant slopes, and they have constant slopes because the angle is constant. It's always making the same angle with the x-axis. So the angle is, of course, constant and less than 90. That is acute angle. What about the velocity? Velocity, we say, is increasing uniformly. What about the slope? The slope is positive and constant. And how do I know that the slope is positive and constant? I have a straight line, and all straight lines have constant slopes, and therefore I know that the slope is constant. How do I know that the slope is positive? I know that because it is making an acute angle with the x-axis, and all lines that make acute angles with the x-axis have positive slopes. So my slope is positive and constant. Now if my slope is positive and constant, what will happen to my acceleration? Even my acceleration will be positive and constant. And how do I know this? I know this because for the velocity time graph, the slope is given by acceleration. So any comment you make on slope will also be valid for acceleration. So if the slope is positive and constant, even the acceleration will be positive and constant. We are also making a comment on the velocity in this case. You can see this is a velocity time graph. You directly have to look at the graph and see what's happening. You see this line is increasing. As you go from left to right, line is increasing, which means from left to right, velocity is increasing. and it's increasing uniformly because it's a straight line, and therefore velocity is increasing uniformly. Finally, what I'm talking about is, what is this type of motion? It is uniformly accelerated motion. Firstly, is it accelerated motion? Yes, because acceleration exists. But is it uniformly accelerated motion? Yes, because acceleration not only exists, but acceleration is constant, and therefore this type of motion is uniformly accelerated motion. Let's take a look at a different type of graph here. The second type of graph is absolutely the same graph as before one. The only thing that has happened is that the graph is displaced towards the origin. That is, the y-intercept has disappeared, and therefore the only change between this graph and this graph is the condition of the graph. So here at t is equal to 0, v was v naught, but here at t is equal to 0, v is also equal to 0. This graph is starting from origin. As you can see, at t is equal to 0, velocity is 0. Everything else, if you take a look, remains the same. Angle is constant, less than 90. Therefore, the slope will be positive and constant. Slope is positive and constant, so acceleration is positive and constant. Acceleration and positive constant, which means velocity is increasing uniformly. And finally, the type of motion also remains the same, that is uniformly accelerated motion. Nothing has changed except the fact that this graph has been displaced towards the origin. Let's take a look at this type of graph now. In this type of graph, again, we have the same line, and what has changed is now it has gone below the origin. So again, the only difference would be in the intercept. Here there was a positive intercept. You can see this gap above 0, so positive intercept. Here there was no intercept, and here you have a negative intercept. You see this gap, it is below 0. So that's the only change. That is, there will be only a change in the condition. Let's take a look. The condition says at t is equal to 0, v is equal to minus v naught. As predicted, we have a negative y-intercept, and therefore there is a change in the condition. Everything else remains the same. The angle is constant, less than 90 degrees. The slope is positive and constant. And because slope is positive and constant, acceleration is positive and constant. Acceleration is positive and constant, which means velocity is increasing uniformly. Finally, the type is also the same, that is uniformly accelerated motion. Let's take a look at a different type of graph. What if you have a graph that looks like this? Now you can see that the graph is still a straight line, but now let's take a look at the angle it is making. You see, the angle it is making is no longer acute. If you take a look at this angle, it is an obtuse angle, and that should give you your first hint. Every time a line makes an obtuse angle, it has a negative slope. Let's see if we understood the properties of this graph. The condition says at t is equal to 0, v is v naught, which is pretty obvious. At t is equal to 0, you have this intercept. You can see v is v naught at t is equal to 0. What about the angle? Is the angle constant? Yes, it's a straight line. The angle is going to be constant. But what about acute or obtuse? It is definitely obtuse. As you can see, the angle it makes with the x-axis is definitely more than 90. So you have an obtuse angle. What about the slope? The slope now is negative. Why is it negative? Because the line makes a obtuse angle. So the slope is negative. But is the slope constant? Yes, as long as you have a straight line graph, the slope is going to be constant. Now, if the slope is negative and constant, acceleration will also be negative and constant. And finally, if you have negative acceleration, it means velocity is definitely decreasing. But since the acceleration is not only negative, but also constant, velocity is not only decreasing, but it is decreasing uniformly. And therefore, I say that the velocity decreases uniformly. And therefore, this type of motion is uniformly retarded motion or uniformly decelerated motion, where acceleration is negative and constant and velocity is decreasing uniformly. Let's take a look now at the next graph. This graph here and this graph here again look almost the same, except that we have pulled this graph down to the origin. So now the only thing that changes is the condition. At t is equal to 0, v is equal to 0, as you can see for yourself. Everything else remains the same. The line is going to make a constant angle with the x-axis, which is going to be an obtuse angle with the x-axis. You can see that this angle that it makes with the x-axis is still going to be obtuse, because the angle will now be counted from here. You have to go all around and count the angle like this. You always count the angle anti-clockwise, so you still make an obtuse angle. What about the slope of the graph? The slope, as you can see, is still negative because it's making an obtuse angle, still constant because it's a straight line. Slope is negative and constant, which means acceleration is negative and constant. Acceleration being negative means velocity is decreasing, but acceleration is negative and constant, which means velocity is not only decreasing, but decreasing uniformly. So again, we have uniformly retarded motion as before, and therefore these two graphs are almost the same, only displaced, and therefore there's only a change in the y-intercept. Let's take a look at this graph. Again, same graph here, only the intercept has changed. Take a look at all the three graphs: positive intercept, zero intercept, and here I have a negative intercept, and therefore again only my condition changes. The remaining parts are the same. So here you can see at t is equal to 0, v is equal to minus v naught. I'm not going to repeat the remaining points. It's exactly the same motion except the beginning or the initial point. Let's take a look at a graph which has a variable slope. Variable slope means a graph which is a curve. Let's take a look at the properties of this graph. You can see that the angle they are saying is increasing. How do we know that the angle is increasing? You draw tangent lines on the graph and you look at the angles those tangent lines make, and you will see that the angle that it's making with the x-axis is increasing. So the angle is increasing, but it's less than 90. So it's always making acute angles and it is always bending towards the velocity axis. So as you see from here to here, I'm bending more and more towards the velocity axis. So theta is increasing less than 90 and always bending towards the velocity axis. What about the slope? The slope is increasing and positive. We know this from part 1 where we drew the table and we said that every time you have a concave upwards graph, your slope increases, and therefore the slope is increasing and the slope is positive because all the tangent lines here are making acute angles with the x-axis. So slope is increasing and positive. Whatever happens to slope will happen to acceleration because we are talking about velocity time graphs. So whatever happens to slope happens to acceleration. So acceleration is also increasing and positive. Acceleration is increasing and positive. Next, therefore, it means that velocity must also be increasing. As long as acceleration exists, it means that velocity is changing, but acceleration is increasing and positive, which means velocity must be increasing, and it's increasing non-uniformly in a way that we don't understand because acceleration is not constant, it is increasing. So we can't comment on whether the velocity is increasing by how much amount, therefore we say it's increasing non-uniformly. Finally, we also talk about the type of this motion. It's non-uniformly accelerated motion because we know it's accelerating, but it's not accelerating by equal amounts, and therefore we call it non-uniformly accelerated motion. Take a look at the condition also at t is equal to 0, v is equal to 0, which you can see directly in the graph. Let's take a look now finally at the other cases. We have some other cases like this line which is parallel to the x-axis. We know that if you have a line parallel to the x-axis, the slope will be 0. In this case, I know that the angle is 0 because it's parallel to the x-axis. The slope is 0 as we know from the table that we have learnt before. The slope is 0, that means acceleration is 0. Acceleration is 0 means there's no change in velocity, which means velocity is constant. If velocity is constant, it means motion is uniform. Also take a look at the condition. At t is equal to 0, you have v is equal to v naught. In fact, at any t, you will have the same v naught because the line is parallel to the x-axis. Let's take a look at this graph. Here we have the graph parallel to the y-axis. Let's see what happens. We know when we have a graph parallel to the y-axis, the slope is infinity. And therefore, the angle it's making is 90. As you can see, the angle it makes with the x-axis is 90. The slope is infinity. But what is the problem with the slope being infinity? The slope being infinity, the problem is that this implies velocity is increasing without any change in time. At the same instant in time, there are so many values of velocities, and that's not possible because it looks like in the same instant of time, the velocity went from 0 to infinity, which is practically impossible. So this graph is a practically impossible graph. This finishes our discussion on the velocity time graphs. Like I said, we discussed the fundamental principles of how to read the graphs in part 1. We continued and applied those principles to velocity time graphs in part 2, that is this lecture. I hope you understood how to read the graphs and will no longer have to memorize these techniques. Thank you for watching. You can get your own target book, which will give you a more in-depth analysis of these concepts. You can get that book from the link in the description. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.